Welcome to season 7, episode 11. 7-Eleven. Woo! Yeah. I went to get gas there today, I think. Yeah, it was today. Today I did. It's like, was it today or was it yesterday? The days all run together. Yeah. So that's my personal life. Is I got gas at 7-Eleven today. Yeah. As far
Stop
as
flaunting your wealth, okay? Filling your gas tank. We don't want to hear about that.
Next, he's gonna say he got eggs.
Hey, yo, gas is coming down, and I do got eggs because I got friends with chickens. So
yeah, I want to get chickens, but
why does that sound dirty?
My wife just casually dropped it. Like we were at a friend's house last weekend. I guess we're going to personal life, and they had chickens in the backyard. And I was looking at the chickens, and she goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, we have chickens that are being raised right now for us." I was like, "Oh, well, do I have to build a coop or anything?" I was like, "Oh, it's still waiting for the hatch." And I was like, "They're still in eggs, but they're incubating the eggs for us." I was like, "I guess I'm getting chickens." So anyway,
build the coop now. It happens fast, bro. You do not have time.
Yeah, no. So got some chickens coming, and we're gonna have
I just love
eggs.
How she outright just dropped that on you. Just like, hey, chickens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, we have chickens coming. What? Okay. Yeah, we have a friend of ours that has like 1 million chickens and 2 roosters. So some of their eggs get fertilized. Because that's how that works. And
I always wondered.
Yeah. You always wondered?
I figured you had so many. I just asked you eventually.
Yeah, how it all works.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just figure it out. You kind of stab around the dark, and then a kid comes one day. At least that's how it happened for me. Announcements. What's going on in the world of the World Reads? We got a couple of things. No new patrons. Next week we will be taking off because Chris is traveling, and it actually works better for our scheduling and guests because we're trying to match up chapters with different guests because some certain guests have requested certain chapters. So I've been trying to play mix around things, and Chris is like, "Oh, I can't record next week, maybe next Friday," but Ian's in New York next Friday, so and he's in the car right now.
I think I may have missaid that. I could actually record Tuesday.
Oh, you can.
That's my fault. I was saying for additional recordings.
Additional recordings. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually good for Tuesday.
Then we will record next Tuesday.
No, we're leaving Thursday night, and then we'll be in town late Thursday night through Sunday. So
okay,
if that doesn't screw up things too much.
I just said. Forget everything I just said. We'll be recording next Tuesday.
Guys, this is what happens when you let people that don't plan like us do multiple things. You know, having Cosmere and having this, and then we have other things. We're working.
So we are going to record next Tuesday. I can work on magic elsewhere. We're good. We are good. Everything's great.
I mean, if you need to take a week, take a week.
No, we don't need to take a week.
Good.
We just have to move our guests.
I don't want to take a week.
Not a big deal.
It's actually getting the good stuff.
I might add the guest onto that once this episode onto the other guests because the more the merrier. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Let me add Ian back on,
Zool,
even though he's just driving in the car. It is Zool. So Zool's going to come on, but I'll just add her with another guest because that works.
We love Zool. Always add Zool. Add Zool every week. The more Zool, the merrier.
We'll add Zool. I just need to check to make sure that they're not
anybody else, but
Yeah.
Yes,
No, not at all.
it's definitely brought to you by Google Calendar. Like if I don't have it on my Google Calendar, it doesn't happen. I literally get a reminder at 8:30, and that's the issue. I should probably set it for 8:10 or 15. That way I get on here earlier, but I don't.
So in announcements, we have no idea what's going on.
No, not at all.
We have Cosner content coming out at some point.
Who are you guys? Because I don't even what is happening right now. I don't even know.
You got
new phone.
I got a new my glass protector broke, and I got new the new glass things for them. So it's like I have a new phone. It looks all new and nice.
I thought you said ass protector, and I was like, is that your new nickname for Happy? Like, I don't understand.
Oh, I mean, there's at one time in the tent, and ever since then, I've been protecting my ass. These constant protection. Yeah, personal life. I already talked about a lot. My new phone screen. What else is going on? Chris might be coming over to hang out. I'm working on getting tickets to that event for you. They said yes. I just need to work on price. I'm trying to talk them down a little bit.
For real, yeah. I almost messaged Hal and been like, "Hey, I just need some tickets." Like,
no, you're good. We got you. We'll get you taken care of. So you're good. Plan on doing that. It's for a charity event. In case you guys know it, we're just talking about personal life, so that's what's going on. Last weekend, what happened last weekend? What day is it? What's going on? We did something. I can't remember what we did.
Was it
my brother? Oh yeah, that's what it was. We went over to my parents' house for kids Easter pictures for the kids, and then my youngest brother Hunter, who listens to this podcast, has been on this podcast, was in town with his son, so my nephew. So I got to see them. Of course, we've visited them in Florida a few weeks ago, so it's not like I haven't seen them forever. But it's still nice to see him again, him and his wife, because they are about to leave to go to Ireland for a week. So Hunter, if you're listening to this, I know he's not listening to the episodes right now because he binges them like in chunks, and then goes and listens to an audiobook in a chunk, and like binges an audiobook, and then goes back and binges us. So whenever you do read this was when you were in Ireland, is when I recorded this. So I hope you're having fun in Dublin, or wherever you are, and drink lots of Guinness for me. I don't have Guinness tonight. I have, but I am drinking a Bald Irishman Irish Red Ale. So it's Irish. So this is for you, Hunter.
Hey, this is important to know. Did you guys hear like all this talk about populations getting out of control? Did you hear the population in Ireland's capital is just going wild? I heard it's Dublin.
Dad jokes for days, everybody. Dad jokes for days.
Well, I needed the trombone.
Two fathers.
Good time. So yeah, that's it for personal life. Yeah, this weekend I got really nothing going on that I can think of. I'm sure we have stuff. I'm positive we have stuff. But yeah, that's. I like I said, this episode is brought to you by Google Calendar, which I don't keep. So unless my wife tells me I have something, I have no idea what's going on. So I am completely lost.
Ian.
All right, so right now I am getting on 64 right by the 95 interchange, so it's a little crazy. So I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm going to drive and talk. And I have a 3-cylinder engine, so I have to be very intentional here. So tonight was VCU's last home basketball game for the men's team. They played St. Louis. They won, so that means they won regular season #1 in the A10, which is fantastic. I got confirmation from my kid's mom the other day that River, maybe Ryder, can go with me to a trip to New York to go to the A10 tournament at the Barclays in New York City. My brother, who's a VCU grad, he's going to go with us. I am super excited about it. I am not a basketball fan at all, but started going to these games because essentially I got great free tickets offered to me for like every home game. So I started taking my boys, and they fell in love with it. So it's been like a great bonding thing, and super excited about the trip, super excited about the team. Oh, and today I got to the stadium like super early. So I was like, let me walk to the bookstore down Broad Street, get some hoodies for me and the boys, so when we go to New York City, we can represent. I needed some swag, right? I'm wearing mine right now, black and gold. Anyways, on the way there, I passed like pretty much the entire team coming out of their practice center, getting ready to go over to the stadium. Got to talk to a few of them, took some pictures with a couple, and it was perfect. The two that I took pictures with, one of them is like Meredith's fan crush. Like, she just thinks he's oh so cute. She's like, I bet you he's a really nice guy. And I've been joking on her because she's like, just looking at him, he seems like such a nice guy. And I'm like, how can you tell looking at him? But I talked to him for 5 minutes, and he's a really good fucking dude. So, yeah. And I got a picture with him, sent it to Meredith, and I'm like, no, you're right. He's actually a really cool guy. Like, if he wanted to come over for dinner, I'd be okay with that. So, anyway, that's my personal life right now. Yeah, it's been great.
Cool. All right. So, Chris?
So I don't think I talked about it the last week. But we went and saw my wife's cousin's little baby. He's born preemie, so it was really cool to get to go over there. I made him a big pan of lasagna, and then my coworker heard that they had a preemie and they've been in and out of the hospital for 4 weeks, with him, and they finally had to bring him home. So she like made a cake for him, and so what was supposed to be like an hour visit turned into like 4 hours because they hadn't had any adult time in almost 5 weeks because of the baby. So we got to spend that time. That was really cool. And then also we saw the new Ant-Man, which, yeah, it's definitely, kid geared. It was still good. We enjoyed it. It was one of the shortest Marvel films I've been to in a while. So I don't know what the deal is with that. It's like they're probably making them shorter because kids are watching them, so the attention span goes quicker. And then this past weekend, we just had some really good quality time with Chanel's parents, which is always nice. So yeah, and next weekend we're going to see Creed, so that'd be cool. Give y'all a sneak peek.
Okay. Cool. Fun. Sounds good.
Wait, can I have one more thing?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So there's only a select few of you guys out there that will be as, I don't know if I'm offended or just surprised by this, but Meredith's brother was at a bachelor party weekend in Nashville. And so we're getting updates here and there about his bachelor party weekend, and it sounds like a fantastic time. Until he messages us that, oh man, like, we're listening to this artist for the third time this weekend. Like, we just keep showing up and he's performing, and I can't stand him. And then a couple minutes later, he's like, yeah, it's some kid named Billy String. Like, what kind of garbage is this? Meanwhile, that's probably my most favorite artist that is performing right now live. Freaking fantastic. And he's just like, I'm stuck listening to him for the third time, and I don't like it. I'm like, bro, I will pay money to swap seats with you right now. So anyway, that's a shout out to Billy Strings and any Billy Strings fans out there. He is, if you haven't listened to him yet, if you have any appreciation for like Appalachian style, bluegrass, kind of flat picking, guitar playing, like, he's just phenomenal. It's worth a listen. Look him up.
Cool.
Oh, I also got my time approved, so Jordan Con, I will definitely be there Thursday evening. So that's
okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I took the time off too. So Ian still needs to get tickets.
What?
Yeah, Ian still needs to get tickets to Jordan. He has a hotel.
What?
He has my hotel. I got a room for him.
If anybody can help me figure out how to get tickets, I have email issues apparently, and it won't let me buy them. Anybody who helps me figure it out, you get a Will Reed Frosty mug on me.
I mean, I got
Okay.
a burner email.
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
The one the wife doesn't know about.
The willreads.com, the willreads at Gmail is my burner. I actually got a few of them. I got a lot of emails.
Pretty sure Boy Banks at Hotmail still works. Who uses Hotmail? I'm sorry, if you still use Hotmail. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not even stalling for time. Why? It's like my grandma
Speaking
still
of which,
using AOL.
There is this girl in high school, and like, I'm not going to say names, but her email address, 'cause for some reason she gave her email address to me, and it was boycrazy69 at Hotmail, and I was like, and not interested, maybe interested. I don't know. That just sounds like red flags, but not gonna date you, but hey, you want to you want to hang out?
Determine how crazy you really are.
If you're 22 or younger, you chase the red flags. After that, you run away from them.
Yeah.
That's the balance.
Yeah, when you get to my age, something like that, you're like, yeah. Oof.
Unless you went to Warwick High School during our years. But anyway.
What?
Oh, we made newspaper. Warwick High School during my years.
Warwick High School.
You don't chase the red flag. We made the newspapers after a blood drive, and not in a good way.
Nope. So, you guys ready?
We single-handedly ended high school blood drives in Newport News, Virginia. But yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, I stole my friend's car during a blood drive. He was hooked up, and I stole it. Took his keys, and he's like, "Can't chase me." I stole his car.
Phenomenal idea.
That's great.
Hey,
that, my friends, is how I learned how to drive stick.
Yeah, at Heritage, we had ad hoc impromptu blood drives. Like, we weren't trying to have blood drives, but people gave blood just randomly.
Anyways, all right. So Ian's gonna be in front of a real mic soon. So anyone that's listening to us next week, not watching us live, Ian is driving his car back from the sports ball game. Yeah, go sports! Woo! Yeah. I got hopefully got a lot of home runs, a lot of touchdowns. And yeah, we'll have Ian at a regular microphone as soon as he gets home. And just drive Ian. You can listen unless you have something really cool to say. So let's go right into chapter 23. Next door to a weaver. And we're still in Abu Dar. We're with the girls, Elaine and Nynaeve, and Satella Anan, the mistress Anan, the innkeeper, who is still pretty.
Imagine this woman looking like a bruiser. Like, I feel like she looks like Trunchbull. Like, the more I think about it, I can see her like with a top knot and just really, really hardy person. And she can be a hammer thrower. I'd be okay with that.
It can be one of two things: either like a really, really big woman that can just muscle people around, or like that really scrawny, skinny one with a really, really nasty liberal arts attitude that's just like snapping her fingers all the time at you and just. It's one of the two.
Hey, you can't chime in when it's important. So in my headcanon, the way I pictured her, it was slightly older but still attractive. You could tell she played soccer her whole life, very fit, but size that could crush you. Yeah. Like, that's what's in mind. And I don't know where that comes from. Jordan didn't give me that, but that's the picture I painted.
Okay. It's funny how we all have a slightly different view of her, but Trunchbull is always my go-to for that character.
Well, Dana Zul says, "Don't badmouth my favorite tertiary character."
That's not tertiary. I love the Trunchbull. Like, I feel like she was the number one character in Matilda, and she throws hammer, and that's my second favorite event. So the woman literally had a hammer in her office, and she threw a kid like he was a weight. Like, she gets an A+ in my book.
Yep. So she's still pissed at them for pretending to be an Aes Sedai, and she's leading them through Ebadar, like past a bunch of inns, and they're just going from street to street, and they're kind of wondering,
crush.
yeah, wondering if they'll ever find, where they're going for. Meanwhile, Elaine is, kind of getting upset about the treatment, but Nynaeve believes that this might help their search for the Bowl of the Winds, and that's why Nynaeve's going along with it. Even though Elaine's like, "We're Aes Sedai. Why are we putting up with this crap? Like, doesn't matter if we can find a woman that channel. Like, who cares?" And Nynaeve's like, "Maybe they do something."
It really got to me that she couldn't have the forethought to put together what Egwene was doing, or that what Nynaeve was doing. Egwene, yeah, like Egwene has never. Elaine. Sorry, guys. You would think after this many books and this many years, I could get the characters' names right. You would be expecting too much.
Yeah,
you would think.
Here they all are. So go ahead, just pick one off.
Yeah, yeah. You would think that Elaine at this point would be able to piece together what Nynaeve is doing. I mean, it's very simple. Like, okay, we found a group of women that can channel. Where could that potentially lead us to? Like, she's not a ditz in my mind. She's a very complicated, complex person. But maybe she complicated the situation so much she couldn't figure it out. But that's okay. She just let me down.
So, Grant, on that point, I started thinking here, and there's plenty of evidence. I should have kind of thought this before, but I've given so much crap about the girls as a whole, giving crap to Matt, especially in the last episode. But I'm realizing, like, all of them are very confident in their own way and full of themselves, even if it's just like a defense mechanism to act that way. And they don't even really trust each other. Like, if they end up being on the same page, it almost seems like it's just pure luck that they happen to think the same thing. But there's not a lot of instances of them just trusting the other person and being like, okay, like, I'm going to let them take the lead here. I feel confident where they're going. So I think they all kind of have, I mean, I say they all, I guess Egwene's in a different category right now, but let's focus on these two. Elaine and Nynaeve both need to learn, like, how to trust other people and when it's appropriate to do so.
Very true. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're also getting upset because Satella's just stopping at every inn, like, along the way, just talking about all these girls spending all their money on to impress a man. That's why she's dragging them through, like just basically like slandering them throughout all of Ebudar, like stopping every single inn along the way. And they're like, "Are we ever gonna get to where we're going? Like, this woman will not stop." So, but they finally do make it to a house next to a weaver.
Interesting.
So, anything from all this trip through Ebudar before we get to meeting?
Well, I really love, again, I love how Trunchbull like drags them through the mud on their way. I don't love it. That's not the way. That's not what I should say. I love the strategy of her that she uses to ensure that they won't.
You love the imagery, not the act, the imagery.
All of it. Like, it is what it is. She's like, I'm going to make sure you don't come here and damage young Matt's persona, reputation. You guys are going to I'm going to make sure you don't step foot back in this town, which was genius. She knew exactly what she was doing. She handled it very well. So she's my pick for the day, by the way, my favorite character.
Okay. Cool. So we get to this house, and Rhianna Corley is the one who greets them, and she is not happy with the innkeeper, Sedella, that they brought girls to their home. Like, they're just like, really? You brought her here? Like, this is not how this is supposed to work. You're not supposed to do this at all. Like, we're super secret squirrel club, and this is not how we do initiations over here, and this is not appropriate. Like, you're kind of blowing our cover. So we're not too happy.
But at the same time, they can't express that they're very unhappy with her. Like, they're also, I don't know if it's respectful of her, but semi-apologetic towards her because there's some interesting. There's a different culture here, and how they're very apologetic and they don't like bash people, sort of thing. So they gave her shit for bringing them, but also did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, one thing they noticed right away about the women here is there's definitely women that can channel, and they're somewhat powerful, which surprises them. They thought maybe there's just some people that cast out of the tower because they weren't powerful enough to become Aes Sedai, but these aren't just people that could barely channel. They're serious channelers in this group, which surprised them.
Okay, I read this different. I felt like they recognized that there were channelers, but there was no wow factor there. The wow factor didn't come. We have to fast forward a little bit for me to explain this. When they were shielded and Nynaeve was surprised that she couldn't break through it. And I think she was surprised because she didn't recognize the strength. So and we'll get into this in a little bit. These guys can channel, but it's not that they're super powerful all around. It's that what they do and what they focus on, they're really good at.
Right.
Well, yeah.
That's where the feeling I got.
She could rate. I mean, of course, it's there's Saiyans. They have put a little meter and they can see the power level of everybody. And so there were some that were on par with noteworthy Aes Sedai. Some that were clearly way, way, way lower. But like you said, they uncovered their talent and then they used their talent and honed it over the years. Like you said, the one woman can literally keep up a block, and it was she made it flexible so it would kind of convex and concave by being pushed rather than shattering under the pressure. So yeah. So
and they start to question Rhianna starts to question both Nynaeve and Elaine just to make sure they actually did spend time in the tower. And they explain what the group does, that they help women that are put out of the tower but not Walders or runaways. So their whole, that they're very clear that that's what they do. They just help people that have been put out, which is kind of interesting. They make that point.
And the dynamic as it's happening, Nynaeve is actually the one that's kind of giving in. Normally she's the bull, the stubborn one, but you have Elaine. She's like, I didn't like being treated as a novice when I was a novice. How long do you intend on continuing this farce? Nynaeve, I'm trying to listen to Egwene. And of course, they weren't realizing that the power was being worked around them and stopping them from being able to channel, but then also drawing them in. And so they sit through this questioning and they come out and they're like, look, we have rings. We are Aes Sedai, yada, yada, yada. And these women are like, huh, we thought you would do away with that lie by now. We're going to get rid of you one way or the other, but for sure, you should get past that.
Yeah, once they do that, all information, all questioning kind of just goes out the window at that point. We're not answering your questions. We're done here. If you're going to continue with that, just you're going to leave, and you're going to leave the city right now, and you forget you ever saw us. And if you don't leave the city, we're going to make sure that you die or get caught. So your choice. All
right. So question. So this is I feel important, and we're not supposed to know it, and we won't get it right. But why? What is it about them that makes these ladies confident that they are not Aes Sedai? Is it just their youthfulness? Is it part of this agelessness thing, which I guess Elaine explains a little bit further on, that it's part of their youthful look, that they haven't quite reached that point yet? I don't know. Why are they so confident?
So they are young, and normally, just we've talked about this a little bit. So in the tower, it usually takes, the fastest track, over a year to get from novice to accepted, and usually several years. They're just not old enough. They just don't look old enough yet. Even if they're newly raised, they're still too young. You got to think right now they're what, 17, 18. well, maybe Nynaeve might be old enough, but Elaine definitely in their eyes is like she's 17 years old. There's no way she's been in the tower long enough to be a sister.
Well, and then they outright admit that they were raised by the real Amerlin, and it's like, oh, so you're traitors on top of everything else.
Yep.
Rebels without a cause.
Yeah, 3 years from Moraine. Okay, it took 3 and 3 for okay, so it took 6 years total from the time Moraine entered the tower to when she became, and she was one of the fastest ones, like in traditional tower. So they just don't believe it. That's what it comes down to. And they keep on trying to plead for information about the Bowl of Wind, saying, "Hey, we're just here on a mission. We're with the Aes Sedai. We're trying to find this Bowl of Winds, this ter'angreal. Can you help us at all?" And like, we're not helping you do anything. We're kicking you out. We're done here. We're done. You're done.
Now, do you think they have it, Ian?
So, yes, but also I want to add my frustration as a reader. Everybody that's been listening to all of our episodes will feel me on this. How many times have we screamed, look, if you'll just be honest and put all your cards on the table and see what happens, maybe it'll work in your favor. And then Nynaeve does that, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And they just go, bullshit. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Even when you try to communicate, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I regret that you will not accept our help. I regret this whole affair.
Yep.
But you will get the F out of our city and you will forget about us. Like,
yep.
They definitely went
and
about
if you
this
don't,
whole thing
we're going to let the White Cloaks know you're here. We're going to let the Aes Sedai know you're here. We're going to let everybody know you're here. And one way or the other, you'll be dead or back in their hands. So take your pick. You can leave.
Meanwhile, Elaine's like, fine, tell the Aes Sedai. Go ahead, tell me first. Because I am Aes Sedai. What the hell is going on here?
As a matter of fact, we'll take the note to them for you. Come with us. You'll see. Like, I feel like that's what she wants to do. And then at some point, she's got to get Matt involved, and they just got to go up there in a show of. You can't really go in a show of force. Maybe Matt and a couple other people go just to kind of prove their validity. They're gonna have to get a couple other real Aes Sedai. I mean, other Aes Sedai to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a Freudian slip, Chris. We now know what you think. They're not real. That's messed up. That's messed up.
I mean, they didn't take all the steps. I mean,
all right, I'm going to tangent here for a little bit, but it's still somewhat related. I'm getting excited about these group of channelers because they never made it to Aes Sedai. And what does that mean? They've never used the Oath Rod. There's a lot of potential down the line for to be the most important female channelers alongside Egwene, Elaine, and Nynaeve, and others who haven't used the Oath Rod. Because I'm not a
beside Rand.
I don't trust that Oath Rod.
And beside Rand, who needs women that can channel along with their men.
Right. Yes. So I'm okay with the awkwardness here. I'm like, there's good potential. So I'm gonna run with this.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how we wrap this chapter with them being kicked out, pretty much. I don't think there's anything really left.
Quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts, Chris? You're about to say something?
No, I was say it was a really quick but condensed, like packed chapter. It was full of just small things here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, Ian talked about his thoughts. I mean, where do you agree, or is that what you thought your initial thoughts were with this group, the Kin, that they're going to be important going down the line, that they're going to be used because of that?
That's why I asked the question or made the statement. Like, I feel like they're going to be important in regards to connecting with Rand. There is some bias in that group that's currently in charge about the relationship with the White Tower. So I can almost also see the White Tower using them as more or less like battle mage, because these are women that can channel that have not taken the oath. So I think it's really whichever group gets to them first will get to use them for their own means.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to move to chapter 24?
Yeah. That's like you said it inside.
Yeah, so. Let's do it. Yeah, I just got out of the car. I'll be set up in 5 minutes, but we can keep rolling. No need to break or anything.
Yeah. All right. Chapter 24, The Kin. So it starts with in Rihanna's point of view. She's watching Elaine and Nynaeve leave the house.
They didn't sweat. They must really be Aes Sedai.
Yeah, they're worried that that they might be actually Aes Sedai. They didn't sweat at all. Like, do we make a wrong decision? We're never supposed to. And do we break our rules? We're never supposed to channel in front of Aes Sedai. They're not supposed to know we exist. So if they are, like, no, don't be silly. They're not really Aes Sedai. We didn't break any rules. And you start to learn a little about the kin and their system. It's for those who left the Wife Tower, often failing the test for accepted or for the Shal. And they have this. You learn a little about their structure that is not necessarily based on power.
No.
So you can see later where one woman who is a lot more powerful, made a comment or something like that about that they should have put them out to, teach them a lesson. It's like, that's not what we do here. And she was scolded by someone with lesser.
Apologize. We do not hold any against their will. And you know it well. Apologize immediately. And she's like, my temper gets the best of me sometimes. And I say what I have no right to say. I humbly ask your forgiveness. That was Barrowin.
Yeah, Barrowin. So obviously has this different structure than the tower, which is a lot more power related. As far as who has the most power, not necessarily the Amyrlin's not always the most powerful, but definitely like sitters and things like that. There's definitely a lot more of a power structure there.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's not that way.
See, the Aes Sedai is, like they say in the quote, nearly omnipotent. So they kind of have the Aes Sedai on this pedestal that really can't be achieved by anybody. And part of that's because they were declined that opportunity to be a part of that group. So they need to hold them to a higher standard so that they can feel better about where they are in life. So
yeah.
So I would say, football players, they clearly have to be straight up abnormal monsters, because if not, we'd all be football players making millions of dollars.
Yeah. So all this discussion is happening. One of the other women enters and informs Rhaena that Callie is dead, one of the other women, and that the one power was used to kill her. And they're all confused about who would do such a thing. So I had question marks there for you guys.
Black Aja.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Black Aja. It can't be normal Aes Sedai because they can't kill unless they're being threatened or they're protecting something or whatever, or unless it's a dark friend or something. Right. So, and it's unless we missed something, it wasn't any of our girls. So,
at least Forsaken too.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah. Right. I love them together right now.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. So, I love how we get a peek into how informed they are as well. They're like, what about Logain? What about the Red Aja? What about this situation? So they're definitely got their ears to the ground. They're paying close attention to what's going on around them. And they're trying not to get involved in a situation that would create issues for themselves. And then here, Elaine and Nynaeve have kind of been literally dropped on their doorstep. Like, it's not a good way to end the evening.
Yeah. Yep. And then we eventually switch to Nynaeve's point of view. So before we do that, anything from this interaction, learning about the kin, them talking, before we start talking about them some more from Nynaeve's point of view.
Well, they truly believe in each other's abilities, because when they were like, oh no, it's impossible. No kinswoman would do such a thing. No kinswoman AI would kill another one using the one power. But they knew the woman who had said it had never been wrong about it before. Sumiko is the name. Had never been
She's
wrong
the
about.
Black Aja. It's
Yeah.
her. Who's the dark friend? Remember,
No.
you got to go back to the dark friend social. In every group, everywhere, anywhere, all people, there's
Mhm.
going to be a dark friend. There's always at least one. So
Mhm.
trust nobody.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we switched to Nynaeve, point of view, and Nynaeve realizes she needs to apologize to Elaine about about being led to the kin, even though she hates to apologize for it. She just feels bad, I guess. Even though I don't necessarily know Nynaeve made the wrong decision. I think Elaine kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But
Mhm.
I think Nynaeve had a good strategy going on. But anyway, she felt the need to apologize. And
Well, let's
Elaine
not
keeps on.
put anyway. We've
Okay.
given Nynaeve some hard times here and there for decisions she's made. I agree. Her strategy was sound here. I won't say shame on Elaine for not jumping on the bandwagon earlier on, but Nynaeve, let's give her credit.
Yeah.
Elaine should have stuck it out with her.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Well, but then you also have, hold on. You also have the very fact that she's like, I could have been acquiescent as they wanted. I could have, and then she's like, nah, that's a lie. I could have been pliable. I could have done what needed to be done. And then she's like, nah, that's a lie. I couldn't have. So at some point, the honest truth is Egwene would, or Nynaeve would have messed it up for him already anyway. So, oh, I don't like that Skeeter. It is Alan.
Alan is the dark friend. What's funny is before the it's Alan part, when he's like, look left, look right, one of them's a dark friend. I was already like, but we call him dark friend Alan. That's not a secret anymore.
That's not, I'm out of the shadow. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, and then it switches to Elaine wondering how old Rihanna must be. Like she's showing gray in her hair. Like and Nynaeve's like, so what does that mean? It's like, do you not know like how much channeling slows your aging down? Like if she's
you really
looking
didn't
that
pay
old,
attention in
she
class.
must be really old. Like you must not pay attention. Nynaeve's like, oh, I might not have paid attention, but what? But it's not a big deal. It's like, well, tell me how old the oldest person in the tower ever to be accepted is, and start channeling. It's like, oh yeah, just a few years older than me. He goes, she's in her 40s, right? No, she's like 2 years older than me. Like yeah, it slows down aging that much. That's why if she's looking that old, she must be really old.
They do know where the bowl is.
So how old do you think Rihanna is?
Oh, like 102. Easily.
102? Okay.
74.
74.
Stop being reasonable.
Okay.
I just made up a number.
I know
there was
the
no
answer.
thought process involved.
Are either of us close?
It's no. Much
Ooh,
older.
How many hundreds of years? Well, I mean, we've already met one character that's a few hundred years old. So
I want to say she's older than Catswin. I'm not sure.
She
Yeah,
definitely
I
knows the
can't-
bowl. She probably uses that bowl for important things.
Let me see who's older.
We're seeing a bowl, but it could be a bowl.
Because we know how old Catswain is. So is she older than Catswain? Let me see.
She might use it for her
Catswain
cataract
was born.
medicine.
Oh yeah, she's a lot older than Catswain.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she's
bet
older
you
than Catswain.
She uses the bowl for her cataract medicine.
Yeah, she's much older than Catswain. So yeah. Yeah, Catswain's almost 300 years old, and she's older than Catswain.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. Like she's probably like 500 years old.
Yeah. So, and I think at some point does it actually someone in chat might be able to correct me. Does it actually say how old she is at some point? Oh, it's Rafa. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, Rappo, and
Rafa.
so
It's not really plot driven, but sure.
but
yeah.
it might be important. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
But when they were getting in this discussion, I didn't think it was that old in the 300s.
The
but
bowl of
I
winds
did
is part of her
consider
time
if
set.
it's old, Maybe they're so old and they've been there flying on the radar for so long that the tower actually doesn't know that they're there doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
They
Maybe-
know everything.
Yeah.
Well, we already know the tower doesn't know anything, really.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nynaeve kind of feels upset about all this because she wants to look older so she can have more authority.
That's the crazy part. When am I going to get my grade? When am I going to get
Respect my authority.
my She's like in tears because she doesn't have gray streaks running through her hair. I got plenty of gray. You can have mine.
Yeah.
She's just proven how young she is. When I was young, I wanted to be in charge. Now that I'm older, I don't want to be in charge of shit. Because that means I'm in charge of people, and people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to make
Count me
this
out.
for others.
Yeah. So, and then as they're talking, all of a sudden, bam, Nynaeve gets hit in the head. And looks over, and Elaine's already collapsed in the ground. And
When I tell you, I laugh really
You
hard.
saying
at
Nynaeve got some head?
this.
Giggity.
head, who's said head? Sorry.
I was like,
Anyway,
oh, Jordan, how like in my mind a bird popped her in the back of the head. It wasn't even something like useful. And then it went to, oh, are they using the one power and somehow attacking her? But they're not supposed to be able to do that.
yeah,
But then again, they haven't, like we said earlier, used the oath rod, so they can. So
yeah, it was a blunted
Yeah.
arrow, so it was that's what it described as. So someone shot a arrow that was not tipped or whatever, hit her in the head.
He split his arrow in twain.
Twine, yeah, and it must have just grazed her and struck Elaine because it didn't knock Nynaeve out. It just made a little groggy, but makes her also really pissed off. So Incredible Hulk mode starts happening. So, she gets upset, and they're trying to like. It looks like they're just basically trying to rob them. I don't think they have any.
Oh
more
no,
ill-
they were doing more than trying to rob them. They were trying to lead them over into a carriage. They were
Oh, yeah.
about to
Kidnapping.
Human trafficking.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Hostel?
Yes.
Not yet. Crazy that it's still happening today. Like this is like, mind
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Jordan was writing in the 90s, so of course he's writing for the times. But as soon as I was reading this, it like triggered me to a couple of like conversations I've had with female friends where they're approached by certain groups of people and they carry on good conversation and they want them to come over and sign up for something or this, that, and the other. They want them to come over to the van or come over to the car. I'm like, that is such
Yeah.
an issue.
Let me switch Ian to his microphone. Yeah. So, I mean, just and this is something that I always am appalled by. But modern day slavery is still a big thing, like especially sex slavery and things like that. And people
It
get
never went
kidnapped and-
away.
It never went away. Yeah, never did. In fact, it's larger today than it was ever before in history. So,
Yeah.
according to statistics, do you want to take a guess about how many people are actually currently in slavery in the worldwide?
How many?
Are we counting child support? Oh no, I'm sorry. That was inappropriate.
One in four of all slaves are children, so it's pretty bad. 71% are
Oh.
female, and it's 40 million people currently in slavery.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, it's
Um,
pretty shitty.
It's a lot.
I was
crazy.
transitioning from phone to computer. So I didn't get a chance to chime in, but we're still on the topic. Traveling internationally, that's what I was gonna say. When something happens, something gets stolen, somebody swipes something out of your pocket or pulls the pocketbook, there is going to be someone there that shows up to help you. The person that shows up to help you is more than likely the one that's going to fuck your world up. You can't. I know it's horrible. Like there's that saying, always look for the helpers. No, not in international travel. And it's almost worse than that. In many places in the US, most of these attacks are coordinated and it's a group effort. And one person will be overtly the one that's the bad guy, so the other people can look like the good guys helping you, and that's that's when you're done ski. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get your core group. You gotta travel with your core group of people. Trust them, nobody else.
Yeah.
May the odds be in your
Yeah.
favor.
We saw that
Yeah.
when I went to India, and they didn't come after
Yeah.
me for some reason, but
I wonder
Yeah,
why.
because I look so much
it's-
like them.
Yeah, it's just horrible, and there's a lot of parts of the world where it's, you know, not just like slavery, but slavery in general as well. I mean, like in Southeast Asia, it's really bad, especially in the seafood industry.
Oh yeah,
A lot of like you know, shrimp that you buy in stores is actually packaged and peeled by slaves in Southeast Asia.
Sure.
They're
well,
slaves.
and these groups, and even when it gets to countries that are trying to cover it up because it's such a big industry where they're at, they
Mhm.
put fancy names on it. It with like
Yeah.
modern day indentured servitude.
Indentured,
They have other fancy names for it, but essentially they're getting paid such low wages, and they're forced to do certain jobs. They don't really have choice in it, and there's no way out. I mean, it's slavery, but they put fancy labels on it to make it seem like it's not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is.
It's horrible stuff. So anyway, these people are someone up to no good, whether they are just trying to rob them or kidnap them or whatever they're trying to do. They're up to no good. And Nynaeve puts it into it real fast. She channels and they're like, oh shit, we didn't realize you're channelers. Run away.
And
Yeah,
how
it's,
about Nynaeve being disoriented, struggling, just got knocked upside the head and still fucking people up casually? Like, I appreciate that. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's
it's
what
a little
helped her get to that
Nynaeve.
point. She needed that little push.
Yeah.
To be able to actually use the power. So
yeah. Yep.
It made me think though, little dangerous. Nynaeve still needs to get this figured out. What if she looked down and the arrow that struck Elaine had actually killed Elaine? How many innocent people do you think would have died around there? I think she would have channeled with such fury that no one in that immediate area would have been left alive.
yeah, I agree with
So
that.
it didn't happen.
She would have
but
been Oprah Winfrey in Balefire.
You get a balefire. You get a
You
right.
get a
So
Balefire. Because she's Balefire
I-
before. If you don't
Yeah.
So
Yep. I love Nynaeve, but we go back and forth with this. I am concerned, and I'm hoping she gets it under control. So like something wild like that doesn't happen. Because when you like her personality, even though she's having all these emotional struggles, like she's still not the type to be okay with killing an innocent person.
Right.
Right. So if she snaps and
Like she's
an
mom bear
innocent
still
dies,
personality. It's not
right, very
Yeah.
much so. So if somebody gets hurt by her hands or killed by her hands that she didn't mean to, that's gonna like quadruple this emotional block that she has going on, and it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, I see the conflict. It's there.
Yep. So after they run away, she heals Elaine. They start debating on who might have been trying to kidnap them. They start running through ideas. And they finally agree that, maybe we should use Matt to help us find the Bullwinds. That's probably the best idea at this point.
Matt has already been at work though. It was clearly pointed out if we hadn't gone to talk with Matt, we wouldn't then have met the innkeeper who took us to these people. So Matt,
Nynaeve is still convinced that they know.
Correct.
They know. And even if they don't know, I'm convinced as a reader that they are important. Like maybe they're chasing this bull, and that's not even the most important thing that's going to come out of this town.
Yeah.
Maybe meeting them is. Or maybe it's one and the same. But Matt Taverin the shit out of them.
I had a feeling they're going to be in that town for quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything from all this before we move to the final chapter for tonight? Okay, Chris and Ian, who was trying to kidnap them? Let's see.
There's part of me that thought it was those women trying to get rid of them. And then there's another part of me that thinks that it has something to do with the black cloaks, the dark whatever.
So
Black Asha.
Black Aja and the White Cloaks together, so the Black Cloaks.
The
All
Black
right.
Cloaks.
So good question. The cloaks might come into play here from my theory, but I think Elaine's maybe been a little too loose lip about who she is. And you got to remember that there are other factions that want to get her back home or back to safety. There's her brother, there's her half brother, there's the entire Camelin kingdom that want her back. There's also, well, anyways,
I want you back.
She's been loose lipped.
Power.
So
Yeah.
then I
We're
started
gonna
to
do
think
Jackson 5. Jackson 5.
this- the innkeeper that drug.
Give me one more chance.
There we go.
I love it.
Nah, nah,
So-
nah, nah.
I cannot do Jackson anything with you. There's not one version of the vocals that I can help you with.
Yeah, there is.
I can
Yeah.
do A, B, C. Easy's 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. Baby, you and me now.
ABC.
But when they take it up a couple octaves, that's when I just start clapping and dancing. I don't even try. All right. So innkeeper might have knowledge of who Elaine is, and we go back to like why the innkeeper drugged them around everywhere for them to be seen getting drugged by the nose. Maybe that was part of the plot of giving the
Backing
people
up
that were going
on
to snatch up Elaine time. Or maybe she intentionally walked Elaine in front of people that were part of this kidnapping plot. She might have been part of the coronation. I don't know. It's a stretch. But I was suspect of how the girls got drug around from place to place. At first, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good way to lose a tail or make them, not be able to know where they're at and kind of cover where you're taking them to. But it just seemed a little suspect. And the fact that the moment they left, they were trying to get snatched up.
When I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Did that summarize what you said very well?
Yeah, I think so.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's my
Those
that's my
pretty
theory.
faces always made you stand out in the crowd. Then I smacked you in the back of the head. I thought it was with the penis, but
Ooh.
What? What just happened?
it's a bad turn.
And the show reached an
How do you-
all-time low.
It was at this point when
All right. The show knew it was effed.
You used to cut us off.
all right. So chapter 25. Mind Trap. Which I love this chapter, by the way.
I did love this chapter. And you know what? I actually now Mogadine or Mogadine, however you pronounce it, it wasn't
Mogadine.
Mugadidian.
that I kind of had in my mind for here. And this, I was like, ooh, are we gonna get like a perspective from Lanfear or like that
Wouldn't
was where
it
my
be nice?
mind went.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it wasn't.
So yeah. So we start with
Well-
Mogadien.
Well,
What?
pause. Let's not
Pause.
leave Chris's like delusional fantasy land. Chris, I
Mhm.
actually think I don't know how to put it into words, but I feel like the Lanfear Moraine thing,
Yeah.
there might be some hints here that we just don't know enough about, like how Mogideon travels to where she's going. Like she does it through a dream, kind of, because she's trying to fast forward the dream. To get-
Mhm.
I don't know. So like, is it traveling like Egwene did when she did it through Teleron Riyadh? No, because it's not just one physical place in this world to another physical place in this world. She traveled from a physical place in this world to the lair of the Dark One himself.
Mhm.
Shell
there's-
Ghoul.
Right. So like, there's different ways in this dream, not real, Matrix type.
Yeah.
Neo realizes he has powers.
What I'm
even
realizing
I
is
don't know
there's-
what's going on.
A lot of different ways to travel, a lot of different places to travel to. I'm using the word travel loosely because we know that they're no more than just traveling. They're
Right.
skimming, skipping, they're whatever they're doing. They're moving from one place to another.
I'm with you.
And this doorway is just another way to move from one place to another. You know where? I know where they're at. They're in the Hall of Mystery. And I know where Sirius Black went.
The hollow mystery is this a holographic
Hall of Mystery.
Halo
projection on Star Trek?
You know, there's, I feel like
Picard's
we
like,
know-
Data, put up the hollow mystery.
we
How
know
many fandoms can we
Rowling
bring into one
borrowed-
conversation?
She borrowed a lot from a lot
Halo,
of different
Hollow.
places. So this is her borrowing
Harry
from
Potter.
Jordan. Yep.
You're not a real doctor. You're a hologram.
Oh.
Anywho,
Ooh, that was interesting. Open a new beer, took my first sip. So this double buck lager by Star Hill. It's a brewery in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Tonight's episode is sponsored
brought
by
to you by Snowblind by Star Hill Brewery.
is that when she takes it to both eyes? Shit, I can't see.
We're sober.
Alan just left the show. Alan's like, I will not be associated with this.
He said, I have a daughter.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
He's like, I do too, but I got 3 out there.
Anyways,
So Mogadishu, where does she go?
Mogideen. Yeah, she's awakened after repeated nightmares, trying to escape Saladar to Shagul, and finally she wakes up there in the pit of doom, being escorted by our good Mergel friend Shadar Haran, Hand of the Dark, who is the biggest Mergel in the entire world, and just is super creepy.
Don't skip
And-
over like all the glorious pleading that she's doing.
Go for it.
Please let me back into your goodwill. I've done so much for you. You know, I use different methods of getting under people's skin and weaving my way in. The
You know
Dark
how I
Lord's
do.
like,
You know how I
The
do.
Dark Lord's like, biatch, no, don't try to play me.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
dream these dreams, and then tomorrow we're gonna have waffles.
Yeah.
But
Didn't-
I like
was it-
pancakes.
Were there spots in here where she was also like remembering how all this got initiated, and she was kind of figuring out that the girl, female who helped release her, had to be a dude,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
she
wasn't
figured it
that
out
wasn't
'cause he
that
trying
that
to-
was right? That was sprinkled in here also.
Helena,
Yeah,
so-
secretary to those fools who call themselves Aes Sedai. Fools, yet
Mhm.
they held her tightly enough by the bonds of silver metal around her neck, held her and made her obey. Fast movement, she prayed for the slowness.
Yeah.
Like,
And bold of her to try to pull one over on the Dark One. When the Dark One finally starts talking to her, it's like, oh, this is all part of my plan. You know how I work. I was just getting, it's like you taught him how to do stuff. It's like, yeah, but I taught him how
how
to do
deep
bad
is your
stuff. It
failure?
give him headaches.
Yeah. She said, I did it in the shittiest ways. He's like, how deep is your failure? The chosen are always the strongest, but yet you let yourself be captured. You taught those who would oppose me, Moghedien. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, but I made them.
I gave him headaches.
I gave him
But I gave him headaches.
And I only told him like 75% of what I know.
But see, that's the thing. If she says that she only taught them small things and she knows he knows what she knows, then what more could she have taught them? How many
Yeah.
big things are there?
I do actually like, because I'm sick like this, I like that she gave them bad instructions on learning something.
How to
So
tell when
that-
a male's channeling.
Right. So that the harder they tried to figure it out, like the more
Pain it would
discomfort and
cause
pain
them,
they
yeah.
had. That's kind of fucking funny.
It's
Let's be
awesome.
honest.
She's like, I'm in pain, so you're gonna be in pain.
Right. I have to find a way to trick you into torturing yourself. So I'm gonna give you a bunch of things that are true, so you'll believe that I'm giving you true things, and then I'm gonna give you this one that's gonna fuck you up, and it's the one you really want. So you're gonna try really hard to get it. So
Yeah.
that's 2 points to Moghedien. I'll give her 2 solid points there. That was
Well,
good.
and
Yeah.
then she was gonna make a solid stand. She was like, "I will not let this Mergel eat me."
So, yeah.
So there was
And the
that
Merchant just
too.
puts his foot in the back of her head, is like, stomps her down. It's like, and that's when the dark.
Please.
Yeah, please, whatever. And that's when they introduce. I guess once he slices her, takes her, puts his finger in his mouth and slices her cheek or whatever. So takes saliva and blood together and puts in this device and throws it out into the pit of doom. And basically they imprison her soul into a mind trap.
Yeah.
The vacuole.
It produces what appeared to be a thin,
trap.
fragile cage of gold wire and crystal. Something could only be done here, some only to those who could channel. And she had brought a number of men and women for this very purpose. So, like, she's getting a taste of her own medicine. It's like the Crucio curse being used against.
But
Go ahead.
here's the twist. This mind trap. This is where
The string.
Lanfear and Moraine went. Lanfear, because she likes to run solo on shit. She's gonna find her own way out. But Mogideon and Moraine are gonna have to team up inside this mind trap in order to work their way out.
Mogideon gets out at the end, though. The mind trap was handed over to the Wanderer. Or the Watcher, excuse me.
The Watcher.
Yeah.
Wait, now we trust the Watcher. Now you trust
Yeah,
the Watcher.
obviously, this whole thing about making a deal with the devil. Mogideon never listened to the devil went down to Georgia, because if the devil's looking for a soul to steal, you got to play that fiddle, and that's the
Well,
only
you got to
way
play it. You got to play the fiddle hard.
Yeah, you play the fiddle hard.
Right,
Otherwise,
you don't just fuck around with it, because then you'll find out.
I guess she fucked around, found out.
Yeah,
stole that soul. Anyway, yeah. So basically, we learn a little bit about this thing throughout this chapter. It's kind of pieces, but Gideon's devastated that this has happened to her now, and as it sits there, it really doesn't affect her daily life at all. That exists, but knowing it exists, I guess it does. But until it's used, until it's destroyed, until her soul's completely severed, at any time they could just cut her soul off, and basically she'd still be alive, but it'd be like you have no control over anything.
How could you be so? You mean she'd be a gray person? How could you be so heartless or soulless? That's how the gray. That's how the gray men are created.
Hold on, Chris.
Yeah.
In that
talking.
In that rambling that Alan just did you notice that for a brief second he said, "Well, really, nobody exists," and then he kept talking? Was that like an ultimate spoiler for the end of this book? Or is
that
this
is
actually
a dream?
Is that actually are we in a Matrix type world?
Nobody exists. Nobody's real.
So the real world is also a dream world.
Have you ever heard of simulation theory? I mean, we're all in a simulation. None of this is real. It's
like Inception.
Yeah, exactly.
That dreidel is still spinning.
Yeah. Go down the rabbit hole watching really dark side of YouTube where it gets into like crazy conspiracy theories. Yeah, none of it's real. None of us really exist. We're all NPCs. I think, therefore, I am. So continuing on. At some point, I guess Shadar Haran pulls her out and throws her against the wall, but then she doesn't hit a wall, and she realizes she's not in the chamber anymore and opens her eyes, and she's now in a different place with a young man. And all she can think of is that she's in what's called a vacuole, which is they use those to experiment back in the Age of Legends, where they would peel off basically a world with outside the pattern to do experiments, but that was really dangerous because it could break off and then you get lost forever, floating off into nothingness and so forth and so on. So she realizes that she's probably in one of these things and terrifies her in some ways, but she's also fascinated by this young man who's a young, attractive man with bright blue eyes and has flecks in her eyes. And she immediately knows what that means.
True power.
True power. And we learned more about the
see
true power.
that true power shining through. Yes, that true power. That's why I love you.
I'll
So-
be afraid to
Yeah.
let you down, my Cova. Is that how you pronounce it, my Cova?
Chris, I gotta say something here,
Uh-huh.
and I have to put this asterisk because we're in what year are we? 2023?
Yeah,
Something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Right. So I gotta say, well, I don't want to sound racist when I say this, but what I want to say is I love that I can drop literally any song in a most obscure reference and you will jump on that shit and start singing.
Most of them. There are some that you guys dropped that I have never heard, but you know what those are. So
I bet you after the fact you Google it and you were like, yeah,
Dude.
well, that's not my thing, but I could appreciate where they went there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just throw out some Phil Collins and you're back there like, let me harmonize this bitch.
Yep.
And I love it. Yeah. In fact, I think that's anti-racist. I think music like or the arts in
That's a
general.
bridge. The arts are a
in
bridge.
general. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
When people connect on that, it's like, oh, you like that Picasso shit? Be like, hell yeah, I like that Picasso
Yeah.
shit. Hey, you seen this Monet? Oh shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that I went to HRA,
have you seen-
helped me know some of that.
Have you
Yep.
seen the YouTube video? It's like, what if like Beethoven with modern day, like, yeah, it's like the guy's like, he's like, yo, did you hear the new Beethoven's dropping? He don't miss. He don't miss.
And they're in the car just slamming
It's
to
like,
it.
it's like jamming Beethoven.
I love it.
That's
Anyhow.
great. So we learned more with the true power. That it's super intoxicating. That a lot of people don't. It's painful to use. But it can only be used if you're given permission to use it. Like not everybody can just use it. Like it's not like one of those things that.
I want to know what the deal is with the little dot. Like I really
Yeah.
do want to know what that's like. In my mind, it's like that little speck that you know you just want to get out of your eye. I feel like I would just like, hey, you got a little pepper speck in your eye.
But the fact that he has it means he's used the true power a lot, which is
It's like when you overclock your processor, like you know, processor like a 1 point whatever.
Back in the day,
It's rated at a certain, but you can run it faster, but you're gonna burn it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I may
It's like
have
a-
done that
you
to
know-
one of the Androids.
Everybody dabbled in it, and then when they lost a $500 freaking hard drive, they're like, "Well, this was a bad idea," or motherboard, I should say.
Yeah. And McGinnis trying to figure out who this guy is, and she's pretty rude to him. Like, who are you? I'm a Forsaken. Like, you young kid. I mean, I don't know why you can use.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
She's like, you
I
have
wanna
been
speak to your
given
manager.
distinction.
I want to speak to your
greater
manager.
than-
I want
No.
to speak to your manager.
Like, you have been given distinction greater than you know, and I want to add the word boy. Bring me some of that wine, and I'll tell you, only 29 others have ever been granted. He's like, and she's like, you're laughing at me, and he's like, you misapprehend, Mogedian. You still serve the great Lord, but not quite as you once did. The time for playing your own games has passed. If you had not managed to do some good by accident, you'd be dead by now. And she's like, who do you think you're talking to? And then he pulls out her soul, essentially, her little
Yeah,
trinket.
has in his hands like, oh, you want to F around, find out? It's like, my name's Moradin. And she goes, edgy, choosing death as your name, but hey.
Yeah, you were third place in the fiddle contest, but I was runner up, so I got you.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So is he the real Nablus? Can he be the real Nablus? I mean, he's got.
What if they're like? What if
power
the
unlike any
Watchers?
other?
What if the Lord of Dark, the Dark One, the
Whatever
Darkness,
we wanna
right,
call
whatever we're
him.
calling him?
Shaitan.
What if he actually
Shaitan.
has like some code where like when people do a certain thing for him or achieve a certain level, he actually lets them go with power. And maybe that's what these Watchers are. They're no longer bound to him. They operate outside of him,
But do you
but
think
they
that
still
there's
have
more
power.
than one?
Oh yeah, there's a whole crew of them.
I think so. I don't know
Remember
why,
way
but
back
I
in
feel
one
like
of the
yes.
which book was it?
Like
The
forever
first
in
book,
all of the books when they all
Fires
felt
of
like they were being
Heaven,
watched.
where like the Fires of Heaven, where Rand was losing it all by himself, and there was like people watching and ready to attack him.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
a group of watchers.
And all throughout
Was
Teleron
that
Real, they
Fire
always
Heaven,
felt like they
or
were
was
being
that
watched.
Dragon Reborn? Maybe it was Dragon Reborn. We was really losing it.
Don't ask me.
He's been really losing it for a long time, guys.
I
I'm
know.
just realizing I'm looking at the back of the book. I'm like, we've been through a lot of books where this man is just losing his freaking mind. And I don't know which one he lost his mind the most in. Maybe it's the beginning of Dragon Reborn.
They all are though. Even McGideon. All right, the line that you said a couple of times, Alan. Do you know who I am? All right. Now hold on. Let me back it up. This will be even better. All right. Chris and Alan, I'm going to each give y'all a couple guesses. I'm going to give a line, and I want you to tell me which character from the beginning until now, which character out of all of them that we've run into has given this line. You ready? Do you know who I am? Who has said that?
A lot of them have.
Moraine has said it to the White Cloaks when she got big on him. Rand has said it multiple times. Pretty much every Aes Sedai when somebody challenges them.
True. Yeah.
Right? McGideon, Egwene, Elaine, Nynaeve,
Yeah.
they all very confidently do you know who I am? But what I'm feeling is the joke, the
Lan
twist,
has never
the
said
plot
it.
twist.
Lan's never said it.
Lan has never said it.
Because Lan knows who he is. He is
The man.
He is the bringer of death.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the ironic twist is I feel like we're gonna find out.
Never said it either.
Loyal's never said it.
Okay. I'll give you that.
We have some really we have a couple confident guys.
Yep. But none of them actually know who they are. I feel like that's the twist that's coming, that they're all so confident in who they are, but none of them really know. They're all about to F around, and then in the end, we're gonna find out.
Speaking of Daddy did my project, I saw her this weekend, by the way.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I saw my daddy did my project girl this weekend.
Yay.
Yeah, I hadn't seen her in a long time. No, I was at a funeral, which kind of stinks.
That's it. Oh yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Yep.
So she has to do anything that Moradin tells her to do. This Moradin character. We got a name now.
Is there any relation between Moradin and Mordeth?
They both have root words in the old tongue that have to do with death. So Moradin just means death. I think more death in the old language means something similar.
Double more death.
Hold on, let me consult my companion. Where's my companion?
Let me pull out my fancy book.
Hold on, it's way over here.
I have all the information that you can't see. Why he's not listening? Let's mock him.
Yeah. All right, we're bust out the All right, just start laughing when he puts the headphones back on, and point at him. That was perfect, Chris. And that's totally Alan.
By the way, I have 3 different versions of Eye of the World in hardcover right now. So this is why the whole world can't get hardcovers. So I have them all. So just an update right now.
Nothing to do with being on the verge of World War III. It's because Alan keeps ordering them.
So
all.
I need, when we get in today, I need to get caught up on the world because I've been seeing like articles, but
now don't.
No, I'm still let you catch me.
Look at these. Look at these 2 different versions.
I checked.
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Isn't it cool?
I like this silver one.
So Chris,
yeah, well, the silver one's a giveaway. I'm giving that one away, so it's
I'll bring you up on the news, Chris. Many years ago, when I last checked into the news, China was like, "We have too many people. We're going to restrict how many children you can have." And then I was like, "The news is crazy. I'm going to stop listening." And then yesterday, I turned the news on, and China's like, "Now wait a minute. We did the math, and very soon we're not going to have enough people. I need you all to start having more babies. And then I was like, God, what the hell is going on? And then I turned it off again. And that's all you need to know.
So you mean China needs men? Is that what I'm hearing?
The conversation. If we got
No
deep
more
into it,
stuff.
the effects of that realization in world politics for long term.
Oh yeah, it's
It's-
huge
Yeah.
because you know
huge.
democracy will just outgrow communism. We'll just keep having babies. I mean, we don't have rules on that. Go
Yeah.
to the hood, you'll find a mom that's 21 with 7 kids. Like that shit happens.
Look, I never wanted to have kids. I've got 4 of them, plus
There you-
2. Technically, I'm in the 6 range.
yeah,
I don't know what
we
happened.
could go repopulate China.
I'm just living my best life. All right, Alan, bring us back. What are we talking about?
Oh wait, y'all can't.
I was
Y'all
trying to
do.
find out what more death means, but I can't find. It's on the companion, so it
Oscar
wasn't in
just
this
joined
book.
your crew.
Maybe it just means more death.
Death. That's probably.
Why
what
are
it
we trying to
means.
overcomplicate this?
For,
Or maybe it
for
means
cats-
death,
that's-
death.
Did you know for
Double
cats they
death.
disintegrate their cojones? Like I thought I get to like take the cat cojones and like put it in a jar, and every time Oscar acts up, I get to shake him and I get you by the balls.
They don't let you do
they
that.
they disintegrate them. So they're like clip.
So
two,
I did.
they
My
inject,
cat
disintegrate.
didn't get his balls cut off. They did
No,
the
they don't
chemical.
cut them. Yes, I'm saying
Yeah.
they disintegrate them,
Yeah, disintegrate them from the inside.
and then like
Yeah, they-
flattens out the sack.
Yeah.
It's super
Wait.
sad.
No, that's not cool at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't get to make fun of him and shake his cojones, and he doesn't still have them, but just can't use them. They just break them down with chemicals.
Yeah.
And then they just like grape to raisin, bruh. Grape to raisin. That's the best way to describe it.
My balls are marbles.
like a
My
date.
balls are BBs. It's a prayer for Owen Meany.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the end of the chapter a long time ago. Like we were already
It
there.
was.
Right. Chris and I were just
are-
saying shit to give Alan time.
I was letting you go
Okay.
to show off these fancy books. Yeah.
That's a don't ever let us go, Alan. That's a horrible idea. That's
Yeah.
nothing good.
Well, the
will
reason
come from
I
that.
just got the silver one today because so I did a giveaway last month for a book, and someone in England won it. And what I normally do to save on shipping is I just go to the Amazon site in whatever country they want in and order through that site. That way I can ship from the same country, and I saving a lot of money on shipping and so forth and so on, yada, yada, yada. Well, there is one Eye of the World book left in the hardcover in the entire UK on Amazon's UK website. So I ordered it, and it got returned to the people that shipped it because it was so damaged. So, but that was the last copy, and they don't know when they're getting another one, and there's no other
wow.
hardcovers available. So then I tried to order from the United States and send it there, and they're like, "No, we're not going to send it to UK." I was like, "Well, then I will just order it myself, and then I will ship it myself." So that's what's happening, and
It sounds like you need to make a trip to the UK.
it sounds like I need to make a trip to the
Yeah,
UK.
don't ship it. Let's all 3 fly over there and hand deliver it.
Can you
Rob?
write that off as a business
Rob
expense?
from Malkiri Talks, we're coming your way, buddy. We're staying
Right,
with
we
you.
need a couch.
We're coming. So,
That's,
That's
what
what
she
she
Yeah.
said.
said.
Hey!
I wasn't ready with.
That's what she said. We doubled up in the last like 5 seconds of the episode. That's perfect.
GPC
Oh, that
like
felt
the
good.
last 3 months. Y'all having
Yeah.
children and getting in relationships and
It probably costs the
what
same.
happens to our
Actually, it's
pod-
really cheap to ship books in the United States. If you didn't
To
know that,
shit books?
to ship
What are
books.
you
Yeah, to
doing
ship
with
books.
your books, Alan?
You can get a special rate at the U.S. Postal Office on book rates to ship internationally, and it only costs like $3 to $5 to ship anywhere in the world for books. It's part of the United States' strategy to spread world literacy. Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
And
But
all
yeah,
the
it's
criminals
super
took
cheap.
advantage of that, and they would ship books, but carve out pages and put contraband in there and ship it.
It still exists though.
It's been
You can
done.
still
People keep
ship
doing
for
it.
$3 to $5 anywhere in the world. A book. Just books, nothing else. Books you can see. Yeah.
Speaking of loyal, where's he
Where
at?
is he?
Why aren't we? Where's the loyal chapter?
You tell me. You have him kidnapped in your house for like
Hey,
years, and we haven't
yeah.
seen him in years.
He won't come out of it. So he has his own room here. He won't come out. He just keeps writing, and then every now and then he laughs at what he's writing, and then he keeps writing. All I hear is a
The
bunch
whole
of
house,
scribble.
the house shake when you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
Who?
Then you hear scribble, scribble, scribble.
New book nerds got special rates.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Yeah,
we do.
hilarious.
We do.
And then we haven't had a Perrin chapter in a minute either. I'm starting to feel like Robert just did not like Perrin.
Yeah.
You know, you called it. You said he was a block, so you know it's
I'm regretting that. I did call it really early on, and now I'm regretting it.
yeah. Well, next time on the Will Reads, well, actually, first favorite character. Chris, you already said yours is the Innkeeper. Ian, who's your favorite character?
The Watcher.
Watcher. That's a good one. If you pick it.
Yeah, that's kind of like cheat code though.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to go there because we still know nothing about the Watcher. How about the Chris version of the whatchamacallit? That doesn't help.
No.
Oh my
Doesn't
gosh.
Honestly.
My brain has gone blank. The Eyeless. What else is that called?
Myrtle.
The Chris version of the Myrtle.
Yeah.
Shadow Haran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wake up, bitch. I am the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
The thing
Like
about
there's a bunch of me. There's a bunch of me's running around. Everybody's like, "Oh, those are kind of bad." And then there's a Chris version of me that comes around, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, that that guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets props.
Why is Ian all purple? Because I don't know.
He's always all purple.
I've got the lamp in the wrong place. It's a lighting issue.
Yeah.
I got it
No.
because it's not behind my computer. It's in front of
But
don't
you
know.
just need to get lighting. I have extra lighting.
Was
You can
that
pick
the
up some more.
remix? Did you say you got to get
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
gotta get?
Today, Junior.
God bless you.
So next time on the Will Reads, we'll be doing 2 chapters:
Dos.
Irrevocable Words and To Be Alone.
Now, the irrevocable words, somebody's definitely going to make a promise that they cannot get out of, which is going to really suck.
Maybe that's a Gawain chapter,
Okay.
possibly.
Okay.
Ooh, no, maybe it's a Gawain under the influence of the head massage person. That'd be bad.
And speaking of characters, the chapter icon for To Be Alone is a wolf. So great,
Sweet.
Chris.
Yeah.
When I was younger, a chapter like To Be Alone, I would go, "Oh no, that's not cool." Now I'm like, To Be Alone, sweet.
Huh.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah.
Take
I'm
a
the
nap,
same
catch
way.
up on my shows.
Like, I'm a
play some
huge-
video games.
I'm a giant extrovert, but that's like being able to discover my ability to hang out alone during COVID. Because before that, I could never just sit alone. Like before COVID,
Right.
I had to, like I'll just go out to a bar. Like my wife would go to sleep, and I'm like, all right, I'm going out because I can't I have to be around people. And then COVID happened, and like now, like want to go hang out with people. I'm like, nah.
People are.
I'm
That's a
good.
lot of effort. That's
I'm
a lot of
good.
effort.
I'll just stay at home, like and lock myself in my office and just and
Yeah, I've got
And
a
hang out
mirror.
till 2 a.m. on Discord.
yeah,
Yeah.
not
doable.
even that really anymore. It's just
Yeah.
Just get inside your own head. Hi, Alan. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
How you
what's
doing?
up?
I'm
Yeah.
good. How are you?
I was doing that pre-COVID.
So yeah, those are the 2 chapters we're covering. That's gonna be next week, and should be a lot of fun on Tuesday. And we will have a guest for it because I told him we weren't going to have to record, so I told him that we'll get him next time. But I guess he's going to come back now, so we're going to have a guest next week.
Yeah.
It's not Zool; it's a different guest. As
Oh,
long as he
yes,
did
again.
make plans since this morning. And then the week after that, hopefully we can make everything work out where Zool can be on as well. And that'll be on the 14th.
Bring
Awesome.
it.
So hopefully that works for Zool and everybody else.
She has no choice. She's always listening.
She's here.
Yeah. She's
So
always on.
I had to
Yeah.
do some coordination to see if that works, but yeah, we'll make it work. So that's all I got. Except just follow us, find us everywhere. The Will Reads. Just search the Will Reads. You can Google us. I don't recommend googling Ian's OnlyFans, but other than that, it gets a little dark. It's just a little. It's.
I don't do the whole foot. I only do the pinky toe, and y'all know what that nail's doing. It's pretty useless. I don't even know why God put a nail there.
It's a bit much. Yeah. So yeah, go check us out. TheWillReads.com. Follow us. Hit the Patreon. If you want to support us that way, we can do more giveaways, and I won't have to spend $100 to ship one book, or over $100 because between ordering books twice and shipping overseas. Yeah. Anyway, support us. That's all I got for this week.
Go Rams.
Go Rams. Yeah. Go sports.
Is that your until next time? Peace.
Okay. Bye.